And introducing the
And welcome out to Foundation Field, everyone, as the Xenia Scouts are about to embark on the second part of the 2015 Great Lakes League regular season. Hello, I am Terry Lash, alongside my broadcast partner, Lance Morris, and the Scouts coming into this game with a 14-6 record, taking on the 13-5 Hamilton Joes in a battle between the top two teams in the Great Lakes League. Tonight we are sitting on top of the press box here in Foundation Field in Hamilton, Ohio, as the sun is just beginning to set as baseball is upon us. Scouts last time dropped both games against the Hamilton Joes back at Grady's Field. First time they've lost two back-to-back games this season. Looking for a little bit of payback here as Lee Solomon's about to step to the batter's box. And Lance, who the Scouts have coming up here to start this game?
For the Scouts, it'll be a side we are familiar with. It'll be Lee Solomon leading it off, like you mentioned. That'll be Christian Binger getting the start out at right field today. And after him, it'll be one half of the Washburn-Ichabod duo in Kyle Carnahan, of course, playing third base like always.
And starting at pitcher today, opposing the baby blue and grays of the Scouts, will be Alex Schraffenberger. He's from Lourdes University around the Toledo area. Alex is 2-1 on the season.
And the Joes are a very hot team. Out of their last 10, they've went 8-2, and they have a 7-game winning streak. So the Scouts looking to break that here tonight.
And here comes the first pitch to Lee. That one's a bit high for a ball to Lee Solomon, and we are underway here at 7:08 p.m. Here comes pitch number 2, and that one's right down the middle for a strike. Evens things up to Solomon at 1-1.
Solomon went 4 for 10 in the series against the Joes last week.
That pitch is fouled backwards. Just got a nick of that one. 1-2 now. Solomon down to his last strike. Last time we saw the Scouts, they defeated Galleon Graders on Sunday in that doubleheader. And that got on a 14-6 halfway through this season. Here comes a 1-2 from Schraffenberger, and that one's going to be lined to center field and drops right in front of Neff. And it'll be a leadoff single for Lee Solomon. So 1 on now for the Scouts.
Christian Binger.
And as Christian Binger comes up to the plate.
Christian went 1 for 6 in the series last week against the Joes and had a barrage of walks.
As he normally does. Christian Binger, the best walker on the team. First pitch to him to the lefty is a little bit high for a ball. 1-0 from Schraffenberger. Getting a beautiful night here at Foundation Field on Faith Night here in Hamilton, Ohio. Here comes the 1-0, and that one's inside corner for a strike. 1-1, evened up to Christian Binger, the Bobcat from Southwest Baptist University in Missouri. Lee Solomon sitting there on first after the leadoff single. Fakes and then steps back. Had a little bit of a jab step there, like he was in a backfield in the I formation. I think it threw off Schraffenberger. Made sure he tried his pickoff attempt. Over there, Zimmerman at first, and there goes Solomon. High pitch, and in there for... There's the steal. I was waiting for the call. I thought for sure that the extended left fingertips Solomon got there before the throw by Shannon Baker. I don't know if the home Joe's crowd agrees with me. So now runner on second base after another steal from Lee Solomon. Christian Binger at the plate. No outs. Top first. 0-0 is your score. Swung in and tipped backwards to the backstop. It's a pretty shallow backstop here on Foundation Field. Say about 5-10 feet shorter than it is at Grady's Field. Deep enough to do some damage, though, on a wild pitch or a pass ball. Solomon over there at second. Here comes the pitch to Binger, and that one's going to be chopped past the shortstop head into left field. Here comes Solomon. He's rounding third. Coming home. He slips. He slips on the grass, and he's back in time. You can definitely see a divot over there in front of the third base bag. I think he fell on it. Rain, rain, rain. It's caused turmoil for the field conditions around the Great Lakes League, and we saw it on full display right there as Solomon took a tumble.
And that might have been a good thing for that to happen because I think there's a very high chance he would have been thrown out trying to score on that one just in shallow left field.
So a couple of singles to lead off the game for the Scouts. Here comes Kyle Carnahan, the third baseman. That one a little bit high for a ball. 1-0 now to Kyle. Kyle's been playing very well. Recently, he flies that one to left field, and it'll be put away. And here comes Solomon. There's going to be a play at the plate, but Lee's in there and plenty of time, and the Scouts strike first in the top of the first inning with the sacrifice fly by Kyle Carnahan. Makes it a 1-0 lead for the Xenia Scouts.
That's exactly what you needed out of Carnahan at that at-bat. Threw that one out just deep enough in towards left field, and wasn't a great throw from Emling out there, but still Solomon came around in plenty of time to score the game's first run.
So good job that time by Lee Solomon to start off the game with a single, steal second, and once he got to third on the single by Christian Binger, must sacrifice home. And here comes David Gaunt, team's leading batter. First pitch outside for a ball, and with 24 RBIs leads the league in that category. He had a 3-run dinger to pull away in the second game against the Graders on Sunday. And here's the pickoff attempt to Binger over there at first base, who got on earlier with a single. One out here on the top of the first inning. 1-0 Scouts and a runner on first in Christian Binger. Another pickoff attempt by Schraffenberger. It's a very slow move. I don't think we're going to see any pickoffs unless he increases the speed on that one. Christian Binger has stolen a few bases this year, but not a giant threat on the base pass. Here comes the pitch to Gaunt. Right down the pipe for a strike. Use up the count at 1 apiece. 1-1 pitch. That one swung on and hit high in the air. Dupree gets under that one and puts it away, and there's going to be 2 down now as Gaunt flies out to first.
That would be a home run on a phone booth.
So 2 down now in the top of the first inning.
The left fielder.
We're at the top of the press box here at Hamilton, so camera's a little bit further away than normal. Thank you for listening to Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash, as Jonathan Bravo comes to the dish, and there's a pickoff attempt. Binger slides back into first base, but in there easily. And that one's going to be lined over past the shortstop. No, he's going to be able to make the catch. The blooper is going to be put away by Chad Jacob. And the Scouts go down here in the top of the first inning, but they are able to sacrifice home a run as Lee Solomon started things off with that single. And then stole second, was hit to third by Christian Binger single. And then sacrifice home by Kyle Carnahan. So the 1-2-3 hitters to start this game for the Baby Blues work to perfection. The Scouts have a 1-0 lead going to the bottom of the first.
And with that stolen base that Solomon had earlier on in that inning, that puts him in the lead on the team for steals. That gives him 6 total on the year. He has been caught the most on this team. He has been caught 3 times. He's the only person, aside from Austin Orr, to get caught more than 1 time. There's a lot of guys up near the top with 5 steals, including Jonathan Bravo, Miles Wright, and Levi Gilcrease, who is not in the starting lineup here today.
So coming to the mound right now for the Xenia Scouts will be Will Cruz from Hillsdale College. And Lance, is there anything you can tell me about Will as he's wearing his number 25? Interesting fact about Will, he gave his jersey the other game to Zach Wiley because he wasn't pitching. Zach forgot his jersey at home.
Yeah, Will Cruz getting the start for your Xenia Scouts. He is the number 2 guy in the rotation. He is behind Quentin McGrath. And Will on the season has 2 wins to go with 1 loss. He has a 2.91 ERA. This will be his 5th start of the year. He has thrown 24 2/3 innings, has given up 7 walks and 14 strikeouts to go with 26 hits. And another interesting fact, if you look at his game logs, every single start for Will has been on the road. He started the 2nd game of the season back against the Lake Erie Monarchs up in Flat Rock, has started against the Settlers back in Licking County. That was on June 10th and has started at the Pipe Yard 2 different times. One time against the Lorain County Ironman and another time against the Northern Ohio Baseball Club. So this will be Will's 5th start, and it'll be his 5th start on the road as well.
And we see some movement for the Scouts on the defensive side. We see Miles right in center field as Levi Gilcrease not getting the start today. And then Lincoln Reed behind the dish. I believe that'll be his 3rd start at catcher on the year.
Miles also told us earlier his favorite outfield to play is center field.
That's absolutely right. As the first pitch is a strike to Daniel Neff, the center fielder. We'll try and get up early on these Joe's batters, who are some of the best in the league. And here comes a bunt attempt. That's going to be laid down, but foul. So quickly 0-2 for Cruz.
And we talked to Will and Miles a lot. As we mentioned, they are 2 of the guys we live with. And it was interesting to see how they approach stats differently. Miles says he doesn't look at any stats, but he knows exactly what he's hitting. Will, on the other hand, knows exactly what he's doing and looks at stats vigorously. He looks at his stats. He looks at other team stats. He's always looking for different stats on his team and other teams to try and get ahead on the mound. 2
very different approaches. And here's Will's approach, and that one is a bit high to Neff on the 0-2 pitch. So now we're at 1-2. Daniel Neff is coming into this game batting .250 on the season. Here comes the 1-2 delivery. That one's going to be towards White Hogan, getting on start at first, and he's going to put it away. So 1 up, 1 down to start the game for the red and gray of the Hamilton Joes with the yellow and black trim around their letters and numbers.
That brings Jackson Boyce up to the plate. He went 4 for 9 in the last series against the Xenia Scouts. He is one of those players we deem to be a part of Murderers Row, and Murderers Row with a little different lineup here today, but still fully intact.
And here comes the first pitch to Boyce, fouled backwards. Boyce, a speedster on the base paths as well, has 6 steals on the year. So the work behind from 0-1 to Cruz, the righty, against the lefty Jackson Boyce, the second baseman. Here's the 0-1, and that one's low in the dirt. Counts now 1-1. First game at Foundation in a while for the Joes as they're on that 7-game win streak. All of those coming on the road. And here comes the pitch, and that one's in the dirt. So 2-1 from Will Cruz to Jackson Boyce. Here's the windup and the pitch from Will, and that one's outside. So 3-1 now. Will in danger of walking his first batter of the ball game. Here's Jackson Boyce. We mentioned Murderers Row, the 2 through 5 hitters. As we get the 3-1, and that one is a bit high. So it'll be the first walk of the day. And Jackson Boyce will sit at first. And as I just mentioned, 6 stolen bases on the year. Something Lincoln Reed behind the plate definitely got to pay attention to. And that was the 16th walk of the year for Jackson Boyce. That leads the Joes. Pickoff attempt. Something Will Cruz very fond of. So we're going to have Andy Young to the plate. Batting .393 this year. Leads the league in homers. That one's hit to center field. Miles Wright gets on his horse, but puts it away in left center. So 2 down now as that one went high to the sky. But it just hung up a little bit. And Miles Wright had no problem getting under it. In the outfield today for the Scouts, left field Jonathan Bravo, center field Miles Wright, and right field Christian Binger. We saw him getting the start at second. Jordan Schaefer in the second appearance for the Scouts is at short. And of course, Kyle Carnahan at third. Another pickoff attempt. Boyce back in there easily.
So Jake Zimmerman now up to the plate. He went 5 for 9 in the series against the Scouts and had one game where he was just a triple short of the cycle.
The second pitch to him, that's going to be lined to left center field, and it's going to bounce in there. Jonathan Bravo picks it up on the one-hop, barehanded, throws it into Kyle Carnahan. It's a good job from Bravo. As Boyce is wanting to go from first to third there, but because he caught on the one-hop barehanded, threw it in, and Carnahan is going to put runners on first and second with 2 outs.
So keeps Zimmerman hot against these Xenia Scouts. It'll be his 6th hit in this just the 3rd game against the Scouts.
And Zimmerman leads the league in batting average, batting .478. coming into today's contest. And here comes Hunter Owen, the last player of Murderer's Row. Here's the first pitch to him. That was going to be dribbled over there. Foul territory.
On Will.
You're going to call a balk?
We're going to call a balk.
And Will can't believe it. He's asking for an explanation. And it's very strange to see a balk on a play where the pitcher's seems like he's just going through his routine pitch and must have called it beforehand. They said he must have broke his motion, but now there's runners on second and third with the balk. So now the Scouts in a dangerous predicament, up 1-0 in the top of the first inning. 2 outs, 2 on with runners on second and third in scoring position for Hunter Owen, the right fielder. Here's the pitch, and that one's in there for a strike. Now it's now 0-2 to him. I don't know, does that first strike counted? It's on the board, but since it was a balk, I thought so as well, but they have it on the scoreboard here. Yeah, they just changed it. It is an 0-1 count. Here comes the 0-1 to Owen, and that one's hit to deep left center field. It looks like it's going to clear Bravo, and it's going to clear the park. 3-run shot for Hunter Owen. Murderer's Row living up to their name. That is Owen's third dinger of the season. So after the balk, put runners on scoring position. A jack by Hunter Owen gives the Joes the 3-1 lead.
And you could tell off the bat that one was either going to go off the wall or get over the wall. And just an unfortunate pitch there from Will, and he's usually very careful about not leaving one over the pipe like that, but made the mistake there to Hunter Owen for his third home run of the season.
And here comes Kevin Dupree, and that one's going to be fouled up on the first pitch. Kyle Carnahan getting under it, and we'll put it away in foul territory, but not before Murderer's Row leaves their mark with a 3-run shot from Hunter Owen. Jackson Boyce got on with a walk, his team leading 16th of the year. Then Jake Zimmerman, the designated hitter, singled, put runners on first and second. Then after Bachmer on second and third, but regardless of their base position, they were homered home by Hunter Owen. And that was a 3-1 lead after one for the Hamilton Joes, who are going for their 8th consecutive victory. Beautiful night here at Foundation Field between the Joes and the Scouts. The top 2 teams in the league. Scouts with more victories, but the Joes with a better win percentage. Scouts at 14-6. Joes at 13-5. Scouts coming off those 2 victories of the Galleon Graders. And in both those contests, they were trailing and came back to win. And in both those comebacks, they were able to score at the next time they were up after the Graders took the lead. So we'll see if they'll be able to do so here against the Joes and try to get back into this 2-run deficit. 3-1 as we go to the top of the second. And Lance, what's the side for the Scouts?
For the Scouts, it'll go 6-7-8 will be led off by Lincoln Reed. He went 2 for 7 in the series against the Joes. That'll be Miles Wright batting 7th for the first time this season. Usually if he's in the starting lineup, he comes in at the number 9 hole, but he will bat 7th today and play center field. And after him, it'll be Wyatt Hogan. He'll get the start at first base today. He went 0 for 5 last week against the Joes.
This is the 4th game started for Schraffenberger on the year. And that one's going to be first pitch swing from Reed. Hung up in right field. And that one is going to be put away by Hunter Owen. Just like that, 1 down here for the Scouts.
The center fielder, number 2, Miles Wright.
Now here comes Miles Wright.
So Miles coming up to the plate, like we mentioned, usually batting in the number 9 hole, batting in the 7th spot. Today with a little bit of a different lineup. And one thing he always tells us is whenever he steps up to the box, he's going to look down at third to see where the third baseman is playing. And if he's playing too far back, he might drop a bunt.
And Young does look he's pulling pretty far back, and he did pull out the bunt. He pulled it back, and it goes for a strike regardless. So 0-1 now to Wright.
So now if we are going to make fun of Miles, it's kind of semi-justified because now we know when he's looking to bunt.
And you see Young does move in, and the second pitch is outside for a ball. 1-1 now to number 2, Miles Wright, the center fielder. believe this is the second game of the season. Miles is getting the start at center. We usually see Levi Gilcrease out there, but tonight Levi starting off on the bench. 1-1 pitch, and that one is jamming Miles high in the sky, and Schraffenberger is going to put it away as the infield collapses on top of him. They even have to move from the mound to catch that one, so 2 down for the Scouts on 2 pop-ups. That's going to bring up Wyatt Hogan getting the start at first tonight. Scouts on the 2-game win streak. Joe's on their 7. First pitch from Schraffenberger is in there for a strike. Right at the belt of Wyatt Hogan. Schraffenberger, the lefty, winds and deals, and that one's low for a ball. 1-1 now. Again, thank you for listening to Xenia Scouts Baseball here with Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash. 1-1 pitch. That one swung and grounded over towards third. He picks it out of the turf. Does Owen, puts it away. That's Kevin Dupree, and the Scouts go 1, 2, 3. As Andy Young delivers the grounder to Kevin Dupree, and the Scouts, after giving up that 3-run jack in the bottom of the first inning, go away shyly to start the top of the second. And going to the bottom of the second, they still trail by a score of 3-1.
And if my numbers are correct time that Will is having his game caught by Lincoln. We've seen him usually with Zach Riley behind the dish, so maybe that could be a reasoning for some of the mishaps in that opening inning.
That, as well as the fact that Murderers Row has been really good this season.
That too.
Coming into the game, all 4 of the batters in the 2 through 5 spots batting .382 or above. The last time these two played, they were all at .404 or above. So just stupid numbers being put up by the middle of the order for the Hamilton Joes.
So yeah, they've dropped down a little in their batting average, but still
a mere .382.
Yeah. To put that in perspective, I think only David is the only guy over 300 aside from Lee. I think it's just those two.
David batting .382 on the year, so which is phenomenal. Just a great season. David had one of the best years in the entire league. And it's just unbelievable to see 4 players on one team with the same or better. They bring out the bats here at Foundation Field on the Hamilton Joes, in the first pitch to Luke Emling goes for a strike as he's caught swinging and missing at that one. Here comes 0-1 from Cruz, and that one's a bit high for a ball. 1-1 now as the Scouts try to get back in here. Can't afford to give up any more runs early in this ball game. 1-1 pitch, and that one is high as well. Count is now 2-1 for Cruz.
This is just Luke Emling's second start. His last start was in Game 1 against these same Xenia Scouts.
2-1 pitch. In there for a strike. The delivery was pure for Will Cruz, and that evens it up at 2 apiece. Winds and fires, and that one's inside corner for a strikeout. Caught Emling staring at that beauty. The first strikeout of the day for Will Cruz, and retires the first batter of the Joes as they're in the bottom of their order. Now coming to play will be Shannon Baker, the catcher from IUPUI in Indianapolis. Here comes the first pitch to him, outside corner for a strike. Looks like Will hasn't been phased after giving up that 3-run jackhammer in the bottom of the first. Here comes 0-1. Little too far inside. Counts even up at 1 apiece. Scouts down 3-1 here in the bottom of the second with a 1 out. Out Foundation Field in Hamilton, Ohio, as that one's away. Nice catch by Lincoln Reed. Makes it 2-1 after the ball.
And Baker went 1 for 4 in the opening game against the Scouts. Didn't get the start in game number 2.
Cruz set, fires, and that one's outside for a ball as well. So now 3-1 to Shannon Baker. This was the exact same count that Jackson Boyce walked on back in the bottom of the first to start off that big inning for the Joes. 3-1 pitch, and that one is inside, and with one out, the Joes will put one on for the second straight inning off of a walk.
Shortstop, number 4, Chad Jacob.
So Shannon Baker will be sitting on first base, and Chad Jacob coming up now, and he's batting .333 on the year through 45 at bats. So a 5th best hitter in this Joes lineup. First pitch misses for a ball. Counts now 1-0 to Chad, the last batter of the order. Kick off attempt towards first, and that one's in the ground, and it looks like is going to move Baker to second base. So Will Cruz loves his pickoff attempt, so that time too low for White Hogan to handle. And that error will put Baker on second. Will Cruz steps back to the mound. Pitching to Chad Jacob, 1 out, 1 man on second. That one's going to be foul behind us here. As it goes into the parking lot. He was the count at 1 apiece.
To the gear booth, where you'll receive a special prize for each foul ball return.
3-1 score. Scouts trailing the Joes here in the bottom of the second at Foundation Field as the lights come on. 1-1 pitch. That one's nicked backwards. So Cruz goes up 1-2, trying to get his second out here in the bottom of the second. Here comes the 1-2 from Cruz. And that one misses low, so count is now evened up at 2-2. Back in the bottom of the first inning, it was Jackson Boyce, Drake Simmer, and Hunter Owen all coming home to give the Joes their 3-1 lead. These are the outs that the Scouts need outside of Murderer's Row, and that one's going to be hit high in the air. Cal Carnahan gets behind it in foul territory and puts it away. So 2 down now here in the bottom of the second. Runner still in scoring position with Shannon Baker at second base, and we're going back to the top of the lineup.
Turn the music up, turn the lights down, let my song.
First pitch in there for a ball to Daniel Neff.
I apologize for my silence. I was making sure my phone charger worked.
Excellent. So it's a 1-0 count now to Neff, who ground out to first in the first inning. That one's we chopped over to Jordan Schaefer as short throws to first and in time. That's why Hogan stays on the bag. So a little more danger from the Joes, but they are put away. So we're going to the top of the third inning. Hamilton Joe still with a 3-1 lead over the Xenia Scouts.
Honda Odyssey,
And those are the kind of innings you need to have if you're Will Cruz and you're facing the bottom of that Hamilton Joe's lineup, because the bottom of the lineup still has the potential to do good things when you look at some of those guys' averages, with Baker hitting 259, Chad Jacob hitting 333, Dupree a little bit before I ended the first inning hitting 255. But when you look at their averages compared to the middle of that lineup, Murderer's Row as we like to call it, when you see 382, 393, 478, you got to get those outs that are easier outs. So that way, when you get to those guys, if you do let them get on, it's not as bad as if you let all the other guys that are at the bottom of the order get on. So as long as you can have innings like that, if you allow a guy to get on here or there, and you don't let him come across, then you're doing okay. But You have to be able to get through the bottom of this Joe's lineup. Otherwise, they are going to just pound the ball on you all game long.
So we're going to the top of the third here at Foundation Field on Faith Night. Scouts about to share the gospel after the game with these Hamilton Joes. The second team they've done that with this season. The first was the Licking County Settlers. Some action from around the league. In the Great Lakes League, we've had some more Mother Nature problems as there was 3 games canceled today. The Galleon Graves against the Lima Locals, Licking County Settlers versus the Northern Ohio Baseball Club, and the Grand Lake Mariners versus Southern Ohio Copperheads. One game that has been in action up at the Pipe Yard. The Lorain County Ironmen beat the Cincinnati Steam 5-3 in 7 innings. And they're playing the doubleheader right now. We'll see if we can get updates for that game. So Ironmen over Steam in the first contest. And the first pitch to Jordan Schaefer goes for a strike. Here to start the top of the third inning. Second pitch to Schaefer. He chops that one towards shortstop. Picked up. It looks like he was about to fall over, and Schaefer is just gunned down in time. A close play at short to the speedy Schaefer. Chad Jacob picks that one up on a slow roller. A little bit of footing problems we've seen today here at Foundation Field. I thought Jacob was about to take a tumble. Regains his balance, throws to first on a bullet, and puts away Jordan Schaefer. So one down to start the top of the third. As Lee Solomon walks up to the dish. Solomon last time singled. Here comes the pitch from Schraffenberger well inside. 1-0 count now.
Off the release, it looked like that one might be inside the batter's box about to hit Solomon.
It definitely did. Here's the 1-0. That one's in there for a strike. Evens up at 1 apiece. Lee Solomon, the second leader in average on the team, swings and misses at that one. A big cut from Lee Solomon. Playing his second game at second base on their second start at least. 1-2 count. That one's going to be lined towards right field and put away. That time was a great run by Jackson Boyce to get under it. So 2 down now for the Scouts. That one curved to be on first base, but again, Jackson Boyce with 6 steals on the year, one of the speediest players on this Joe's team. He was able to put that one away pretty easily.
Yeah, and off the bat, that looked like that one might bloop into shallow right field, but Boyce got on his horse and got to that one in time for the second out.
First pitch to Christian Binger goes low for a ball. Counts now 1-0, and after those first 3 batters, Schraffenberger has really sat down the Scouts, and that pitch misses as well. 2-0 to the patient Christian Binger.
Binger, like you mentioned, patient. 16 walks, leads the team.
And that one goes just a wee bit low as well. Schraffenberger upset on the mound. 3-0 now to Binger, who will be taking here after that sacrifice fly from Carnahan that gave their Scouts the 1 run of the game. As that pitch goes a little bit high for a ball. Christian Binger will walk. That's the first time in 9 batters the Scouts haven't got out, as it went 2 down on top of the first and 3 straight in the top of the second, then 2 to start here in the top of the third before Christian Binger walks. So he's been on both times today.
No surprise to either of us.
And here comes Kyle Carnahan. First pitch goes high, so 5 straight balls from Alex Schraffenberger, who came in today with that 2-1 record in league play. 1-0 pitch, swung on and miss. That one dropped on a dime under the swing wood of Kyle Carnahan. When one is a pickoff attempt to Binger over there at first. He's back in time. Last time Christian was on, we saw multiple pickoff attempts. Carnahan still at the dish. 1-1 count. That one is inside for a ball. 2-1 now to Kyle, who's now batting .264 on the year. Kyle was sitting around 200 about a week and a half ago, so he's been on an absolute tear. Been hit by pitches 8 times this year. That leads the league. That one's lined towards a diving catch by Chad Jacob at short. with the full extension. Gets his leather on the ball. So it looks like a hit off the bat of Kyle Carnahan. That was going to be lined to left field. Is caught into the diving glove of Chad Jacobs. So Scouts go down and still trail 3-1 as the Joes come up in the bottom half of the third inning.
So the Scouts have gotten on in 2 of their 3 innings, and each time they've stranded a runner, each time it's been Christian Binger.
So Will Cruz about to step on the mound for his 3rd inning of action here. And we're going to start off with Murderer's Row with Jackson Boyce, who walked last time. And after Boyce lands, who's coming up for the Joes?
After Jackson Boyce, it'll be Andy Young. He flew out to Miles right out in center field in his first at-bat. Then it'll be Jake Zimmerman coming up to the plate. He had a hit towards Bravo out in left and later came around to score on Hunter Owens' 3-run home run, who will be in the hole once Young is up to the plate.
Will Cruz came into today's game with a 2.91 ERA. He's 2-1 on the season. Has 14 strikeouts compared to 7 walks. But today he already has 2 walks compared to 1 strikeout, so he's now up to 15-9 on the year. And he's going to need a little bit of run support. He wants to try to get victory number 3 on the season in this battle between 2-2-1 pitchers. And here comes Jackson Boyce. Boyce steps up to the plate, throws inside. Now once we grounded past Cruz, picked up by Solomon, throws to first. Safe. Jackson Boyce beats it out on the slow roller they got by Will Cruz. So an infield single for Jackson Boyce. Coach Bubba Cates has some words to say about that one. He thought he was out by about half a step. But yet again, Jackson Boyce getting on 1 for 1 of the day. He walked last time and was homered home by Hunter Owen.
So second time in as many at-bats that Boyce has been able to get on and see if Andy Young can change his fate from his first at-bat. As I mentioned earlier, he flew out to center field, and Young did go 4 for 6 last week against the Xenia Scouts. 2 of those hits, home runs. One a 3-run home run, the other a solo shot, both of them occurring in the 9th inning.
Pick off a 10 towards first, and Boyce back in time. Yes, that dramatic 3-run shot from Boyce that broke the hearts of the Xenia Scouts. Here comes the first pitch in that one. Up high for a ball. So another pickoff attempt comes back, and here's the 1-0. And here comes Lincoln Reese throwing the steal attempt. He's in there in plenty of time. Jackson Boyce swipes base number 7 of the season. He will now be standing in scoring position after the steal.
And you can tell that Boyce was just itching for a time when Will didn't throw over to him. So once he makes a move towards the plate, Boyce got on his horse and stole second easily. So
2-0 now for Young at the plate. That one's ripped to the left field. Jonathan Bravo gets on 2 hops. He's going to be throwing home, but Jackson Boyce will be in there in plenty of time. So an RBI single for Andy Young, and the Joes extend their lead to 4-1. So we see the steal on the very next pitch. Jackson Boyce is singled home from scoring position to extend the Joes' lead to 3 at 4-1.
And that one was very well hit by Young down that left field line, and then Bravo just kind of threw that one in without much velocity, just kind of lopped that one in towards second, and it allowed Boyce to score easily.
Pick up attempt towards first. Hogan catches it, throws it right back to Cruz as Andy Young's in there in plenty of time. So Murderers Row starts off 2 for 2, and here comes Jake Zimmerman, who singled last time. Watch that first pitch go high. Counts now 1-0 to Jake. Designated hitter from Otterbein College. Bet over 400 on the year did the Cardinal, Jake Zimmerman. Andy Young sitting at first base. Here comes the pitch from Will Cruz. And that one's going to be lined to the exact same spot. And so it'll be runners on first and second as 3 singles in a row for Murderers Row. Keeps the Joes in business with no outs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Scouts trailing 4-1. Slinkery tries to go out there and settle Will Cruz. And Scouts are a little bit of trouble. So, 4-1 ball game between the Joes and the Scouts. As it looks like Coach Case is going to come back out to the mound.
Thomas Wanning's going to head on down to the bullpen.
So it looks like we're going to see some work as Will Cruz is in a little bit of danger here in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
So now this is kind of the same situation that Hunter Owen came up to the plate with last time, just a little bit different base runners. It was Boyce and Zimmerman last time when Owen stepped up to the plate. This time it'll be Andy Young and Jake Zimmerman once again. So we'll see if they can hold them on and keep them to a different fate than the last time Hunter Owen stepped up to that plate.
So 4-1, the Joes lead the Scouts. Runners on first and second now for Hunter Owen. That one's outside for a ball. 1-0 now. Owen, a right fielder from Indiana State University. He's a Sycamore. And that one's chopped over to Jordan Schaefer at short. Gets to Solomon. Throws the first and off the bag. And couldn't tell it. I didn't think he got it in time. And he did not. So a fielder's choice for Hunter Owen. I couldn't see the ref's call. It was all the way over at second. They get Zimmerman out at second. Hunter Owen gets on. So we runners on first and third. As Andy Young was advanced on that fielder's choice by Owen.
So they were able to get one out there. It does keep the double play ball in effect.
Here comes Kevin Dupree. First pitch to him is lined over to Solomon at second. He picks it up, almost falls down, throws it to first, and cannot be picked up by Wyatt Hogan. That ball is in the dirt. That'll be an error on Lee Solomon. So that one was a hard play for Solomon to make. Actually, we'll see if they ruled an error online. He was moving to his left. Almost fell over, and he's coming up. He threw it. He had plenty of time, but he put it right in the dirt. And Wyatt Hogan could not come up with it. I'd rule an error, so that's what we'll go with right now. Regardless, 5-1 now. That one's inside. And runners are on first and second for Luke Emling. Next pitch to him. In there for a strike. Count is now 1-1. Hunter Owen on second. Got off fielder's choice. Kevin Dupree on first after the error. Only Solomon, 2 errors on the day for the Scouts. Swan and missed. So Emily is now 1-2. Online, they are not updating current plays, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to see if it was an error or not. 1-2 count now for Emily. Cruz delivers. That one is just missing the outside corner. Could not pinpoint that one. Evens them back up at 2-2. Here comes the 2-2, and that one's going to be hit to center field. Miles Wright trying to get under it. Fights the sun off and puts it away. So Emily goes down for the second time today. Now there'll be 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Joe's leading 5-1.
16.
So that means
Shannon
Emeling will
Baker.
still be searching for his first hit on this season. He's 0 for 6 thus far.
And I still see one error on the scoreboard here, so I'm just going to assume they're going to rule that a single by Kevin Dupree. That'll be an RBI single that brought home Andy Young. Here comes the pitch, and that one swung on and missed. Cruz took a whole lot off of that one to Shannon Baker, who walked last time. Had him way out in front of that pitch. 0-1 now to another lefty in this lineup. The Jaguar from IUPUI, Shannon Baker. Will check second. Looks back again. Here goes the throw, and that one's chopped over to Jordan Schaefer. He'll pick it up, throw it to Lee Solomon, and that will do it for the bottom of the third, but not before. The Joes played a couple more runs and extend their lead to 5-1.
So yeah, it's unfortunate that last inning for the Scouts. A murderer's row just struck again. There's nothing else you can really say. They made great swings on some good pitches from Will, and they just found open spaces out there. And you mentioned with Zimmerman, they hit that ball in literally the exact same spot to Bravo in each of his plate appearances. So Zimmerman, as the ball is a mile big to him, as long as you throw it anywhere near the plate, he's going to find something to do with it. So it's hard to get Zimmerman out right now, along with the rest of Murderer's Row as well. So Scouts just got to find ways to get those guys out. Otherwise, it's going to continue to be a long day for them. And another thing, we might need Zach to go wake up the bats again, because the bats haven't done much for the Scouts thus far.
And you can't afford that if you're the Scouts, because you know whenever you play the Joes, they're going to put up runs. It doesn't matter who you throw on the mound. They're just that type of team, as we've seen early on this contest. Only through 3 innings, have 5 runs. So you have to match them. You have to put at least a run or two every inning, because they will get theirs over the course of the game. We saw that in the first game against the Joes. Scouts led pretty much the whole contest until the Joes finally woke up and had a 3-run bomb to finally put them ahead by 1 for that victory.
And now coming up for the Scouts, David Gaunt. He flew out in his first at-bat. After him, it'll be Jonathan Bravo. He also flew out in his last at-bat. That was back in inning number 1. And after him, it'll be Lincoln Reed. And you're sensing a trend. You're right. He also flew out in his first at-bat.
Here comes the pitch to Gaunt. That one's outside for a ball. Second pitch to Gaunt. A little low. So quickly 2-0 now to David. Scouts need a spark plug. Love to get it from the team's leading batter. 2-0 pitch, and that one's high. Maybe that spark plug could come via a walk to lead off this top of the 4th inning of the Scouts trailing 5-1. And it will be 4 straight pitches from Schraffenberger miss. And David Gaunt will get off a walk, so 1 on with no outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Scouts trailing 5-1 as Jonathan Bravo comes to the plate.
And if you're the Joes, what is your motivation to pitch to David Gaunt right now? No one on. You can just throw around him. You know he's the most dangerous bat in this lineup. Why give him anything to hit to start off this inning?
First pitch to Bravo. He's going to lay down a beautiful bunt. See if he can get to first in time. And he will. That one's going high. Way over Dupree's head. That's going to put Gaunt over there at third. And he's going to stop at third. Bravo's going to have to get back to second. No one covering the bag. Bravo was already rounding. Gaunt decided to stay at third. Bravo was kind of no man's land between second and third. And he realized, oh no, David Gaunt's still in the bag. Luckily, there were no Joes covering second base, so he could go back in time.
And that was a very fortunate break there for the Scouts. Like you mentioned, Gaunt was held up at third by Coach Cates after that missed throw out there in the field. And Bravo was way rounding second, and then he just had to look up and notice Gaunt was still standing there. Luckily for him, no one from the Joes near second.
Here goes Lincoln Reed. That one's lined right back up the middle, and that's going to be doubled off. Jonathan Bravo's lead was too big, so the quick grab by Schraffenberger, and he throws the boys over there at second base. So the 1-4 double play, something you don't see every day, and Jonathan Bravo gets on with a bunt single, error to second, and then is going to be put away on the 1-4 double play.
Number 2, Miles Wright.
So nice play by Schraffenberger. That was a hard hit ball right at him, but just extended his glove. He's a lefty, so he has a glove on his right hand. If he was a righty, he wouldn't have been able to make that play. As Miles Wright comes up to the plate, fouls that one into the bushes to the right of us.
And we watched Lincoln take BP today. He was lacing balls all over the place. He laced that one. Just happened to be right back at Schraffenberger for the out.
Next pitch to Miles will be a bit low into the turf. Baker keenly picks it up, throws the bat to Schraffenberger. We'll do it again at 1-1. Well, David Gaunt standing over there at third. Scouts down 5-1, 2 outs here in the top of the fourth inning. Scouts got the first 2 batters on, but then a 1-4 double play from Lincoln Reed as Miles Wright hits it towards Jacob at short, and he'll be gunned down. So the Scouts threaten to put David Gaunt on third base. But a double play and a ground out by Miles Wright. As this game going to the bottom of the fourth inning, Scouts trailing 5-1 against the Hamilton Joes.
So like you said, the Scouts did everything they really could in that inning. They got Gaunt over to third, and Bravo misfortunately doubled up over at second. And when you see a ball hit that hard, you're not going to think that that's going to be caught. You think that's going to somehow get through for a base hit, but your first instinct was to pause, and that's what Bravo did. Just happened to be a little too far off the base and ended up getting doubled up over at second. So just some more misfortunate things happening to the Scouts, and got to find ways to turn that around, and they were able to put the bat on the ball, just wasn't able to do too much with it.
Yeah, that time it was just one of those plays where you make out of a reaction by Schraffenberger. No thinking to it. Kyle Carnahan plays third base. We interviewed him once. Said, what are you thinking over there at third base? Well, I don't really think about anything. That's why I play third. And that's what happened there with Alex Schraffenberger. That ball was cracked off the bat and came right at him within a second. Just stuck his hand out, made the catch, and David Gaunt would have been doubled at third. The third baseman would have been there, but Jackson's boys already standing on second. Jonathan Bravo, nothing much you can do on that one. You can't really blame him. Just an incredible play. Schraffenberger, Lance, who's coming up for the Joes here in the bottom of the fourth.
For the Joes, it will be led off by Chad Jacob. It will be Daniel Neff and Jackson Boyce.
First pitch, swung on and missed by Jacob, who flew out to Kyle Carnahan at third last time. 0-1 now. Will Cruz starting his fourth inning of action. That one's going to be hit to deep right field, and it will land in fair. The Chad Jacob is on his horse. It's thrown in by Christian Binger. Lee Salmo has a bit of lead-off double here in the fourth inning for Chad Jacob, who came into the game batting .333.
The center fielder number 3, Daniel Neff.
I'll bring up Daniel Neff, who's 0 for 2 to this game. It looks like we might have a pitching change, as there's a whole lot of action going on in the Scouts bullpen. And that'll be it for Will Cruz. We'll see who's coming into the game for the Scouts. It looks like it's going to be Thomas Wanning, as it's a long run from the bullpen to the pitcher's mound as a helicopter flies above us here at Foundation Field from the left to the right. Again, thank you for listening to Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash, here on Xenia Scouts coverage. For those of you listening the next day on YouTube, thank you for following your Scouts as they trail the Hamilton Joes by a score of 5-1. Thomas Wanning comes into this game. Lance, what can you tell me about Thomas Wanning?
Wanning, this will be his first outing in a little while. This will be his 9th outing on the year. As I have some things loaded in front of me, his last outing was against these same Hamilton Joes and wasn't even able to finish that inning. Gave up 2 earned runs off of just 1 hit, 1 walk as well. On the season has an ERA just a hair over 13. Does have 1 save on the year, 5 strikeouts to go with 8 walks. So it's really hit or miss whenever Thomas Wanning is on the mound.
Thomas Wanning bends all the way down at the waist and throws sidearm, something he has changed in his style because of labrum surgery, which is at Xavier University, not too far from here in Hamilton, just north of Cincinnati. Where's his signature stirrups? We saw him go away from that last time.
He also has changed his entire facial hair outlook.
He has. He's gone with a clean-shaven approach. See if you can get some better luck as he sports those Nike cleats on the mound. And he'll be up against Daniel Neff with Chad Jacobs sitting over there on second. Chad Jacobs comes home to score. That run will be earned to Will Cruz. It'll be his 6th earned runs. He leaves the game with 3 innings pitched, 1 strikeout, 2 walks, 7 hits, 5 runs, all of them earned. So here comes the righty Neff against the righty Thomas Wanning. Lincoln Reed still behind the plate. I guess this pitch bends over, throws, but an attempt by Neff is laid down perfectly. Want to pick it up, throw to first. No, he will not. He's just going to eat that one. And then it does a beautifully laid down bunt single by Daniel Neff. So runners on the corners here to start the bottom of the 4th inning with no outs. And the Scouts already down 5-1. And in a little bit of danger already.
This is like what we mentioned. When you're at the bottom of the lineup, you got to find ways to get them out. And Will wasn't able to do that. Allowed Chad Jacob to reach. And then Neff reached with his bunt hit. And now you get Murderer's Row with 2 guys on and nobody out.
Yeah, Jackson Boyce coming to the plate. First pitch misses for a ball. He's 1 for 1 today. Single last time, and he scored his first 2 plate appearances. Walked his first time, was homered home, and last time he was single home by Andy Young. And looks like they're going to be running in the stolen base from Daniel Neff. So I'll put both runners in scoring position. It's another stolen base here for the Joes. They have runners on second, third, 2-0 count now to Jackson Boyce from Thomas Wanning. He steps off the rubber. Takes a look over there at Neff. Boyce, a speedster at the plate himself. Neff on the year as well. Now 6 stolen bases. That one's lined right back up to Thomas and throws to first. Good job checking off third base. And then you get
third baseman,
Jackson Boyce out. So now 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th with runners on second and third.
And that's exactly how you have to field your position. If you're Thomas Wanning, he was able to get to that. Looked back. Jacob over at third, and Neff was way off of second. Had there not been an easy play at first, probably could have went and gotten out over there as well.
Here comes Andy Young. He singled home and run last time. That one's we chopped. Past Kyle Carnahan at third. That's probably going to bring home 2. Jonathan Bravo picks it up. He's going to be throwing to second, not home. So that RBI single brings home 2 runs. One of those accredited to Will Cruz. One of those to Thomas Wanning.
The designated hitter number
So the score is now 7-1. Joes and the Scouts are in a whole lot of trouble.
I think trouble would be a nice way to put it. They're not looking really good right now. The pitching hasn't been looking great today, as we've usually seen from your Scouts, and the bats just haven't been able to do too much so far today.
So 3 RBIs on the day for Andy Young. And that 2 RBI single. Here comes Zimmerman. Watches the first pitch fall in there for a strike. Zimmerman 2 for 2 today with a couple of singles. Came in batting .478 on the year. And they're going to be running. Here comes the throw from Lincoln Reed. That was a bit high and got him still. Lee Solomon jumps up into the air, catches it on his way back down to the earth, tags out Andy Young. So he's caught stealing. And now there'll be 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning. So nice throw by Lincoln Reed. It was a bit high, but nice play at second base for Lee Solomon, who's going to be playing a little bit of second base this year at Lipscomb in Nashville, Tennessee. Ball in the dirt to Jake Zimmerman, evens it up at 1 apiece. So some signs of life in the Scouts' defense. Trailing 7-1, but a nice play by Lincoln Reed. And that pitch is skied high. It looks like Jonathan Bravo is going to call everyone off and finish that one, and that's going to do it here for the 4th inning. But yet again, for the 2nd consecutive inning, the Joes play 2 runners and extend their lead to 6 as they're up on the Xenia Scouts 7-1. And it's been a good homecoming for the Hamilton Joes at Foundation Field.
And like we said, the Scouts just got to find a way to get those bats to wake up. They've only got 3 hits today, and 2 of them came in the first 2 at-bats with Lee Solomon and Christian Binger, the other coming off of the bunch from Bravo. So Scouts just got to find ways to wake those bats up, because if you can't hit, you cannot beat the Joes, because no matter if you're a great pitcher or a bad pitcher, the Joes find ways to hit you. So it doesn't really matter to a certain point who's pitching. It's just a matter of how many hits the Joes are going to get.
Now Schraffenberger comes up for his 5th inning of action in his last start back on June 21st. He got the victory against the Lake Erie Monarchs. He pitched 7 innings in that one. That was his highest total of innings pitched on this season. And that game, he only gave up 2 earned runs and 5 hits. So I think we can expect Schraffenberger for a few more innings if he keeps his pitch count. Hogan last time ground to 3rd, and this time he's going to pop up to 1st, put away by Dupree. So 1 pitch swing for Wyatt Hogan, and he's going to be sat back down on the pine of the bench.
The shortstop, number 18.
We've seen a lot of first pitch swings for the Xenia Scouts team as Jordan Schaefer steps up to the plate. He watches the first one go by for a strike on the outside corner. And like I mentioned, after those first 3 batters of the game, Schraffenberger has been all business as Schaefer hits that one to left field. And it will be off the ground, off the wall, and Schaefer's going to stay over there at 2nd. But his first hit as a Scout is a double that he lined to deep left field. Nice play by Jordan Schaefer. We'll see if that'll start a rally or at least a run here in the top of the 5th inning.
The second baseman, number 3.
So the first extra base hit of the day given up by Schraffenberger as Lee Solomon comes up to the plate as 1 for 2. See if he can bring home his middle infield teammate in Jordan Schaefer. He lays down a bunt, perfectly placed bunt, and he falls again. It would have been close over there at first base, but again, a miss playing footing by Lee Solomon. I don't know if he needs longer cleats or what, but that's the 2nd time today we've seen him stumble on the base paths. Here at Foundation Field, it's not dirt between home plate and first, all grass. Something you don't see every day. 2 outs now, but sack bunt. As the first pitch to Binger misses inside. Binger last time in the 3rd inning walked. So it was a great bunt laid down by Solomon. Did sacrifice Schaefer to 3rd, but think he might have been able to get off a bunt single. It's the second pitch to Bingers in there for a strike on the inside corner. 1-1 count now to Christian Bingers. He watches that one hit the dirt. Counts now 2-1. Jordan Schaefer, the shortstop, formerly of Northwestern State University in Louisiana, now at Hines Community College. Count is 2-1 with 2 outs here. Scouts down 7-1. That one swung and hit over towards first base, picked up by Dupree, and that will end the inning. And for the second straight inning, a runner is stranded on an island at third base. So a couple of potential runs to the Scouts are about to put on the board will fall asunder, and they're going to the bottom of the 5th inning, still trailing by a score of 7-1.
Some updates from around the league. Lorraine County Ironmen beat Cincinnati Steam in Game 1 of their doubleheader. That one went 7 innings, excuse me. And the Cincinnati Steam now on top of the Lorraine County Ironman 1-0. They're in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and all the other games around the Great Lakes League have been canceled for today.
And we're going to have a pitching change as Steve Jurgens is getting his first start in Lance. I didn't even know he was on the vans with us.
Neither did I. That's why I had to look over and see who was warming up, and I saw he was out there warming up. And this is the first time we've seen Steve Jurgens in a Scout uniform, as he will just come to select things on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So Steve Jurgens in uniform for the first time as a Scout here on the road against the Hamilton Joes. Oh, what do we know about Jurgens? We haven't seen him pitch yet this year. He's a 5'9" righty at 155 pounds, the smallest member of the team from Sinclair Community College. Also, the same school John Crawford attends.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that Jurgens drove himself today.
The Jurgens drove himself.
I think I had to text him the address off of Coach Taylor Hargrove's phone.
Okay, so that's why we didn't see him in the van. He was not at BP. I know that. Jurgens also originally from Richmond, Indiana, getting his first start for the Scouts. So we'll see what Steve Jurgens has. And putting in a tough spot here, already down 7-1. He does have some wiggle room. And he's going to have to start off against Hunter Owen, who is already homered in this game. So Thomas Wanning pitches 1 inning, gives up 2 runs, 1 of them earned and 2 hits before he's retired. And here on the bottom of the 5th inning, Scouts trailing 7-1, already the 3rd pitcher of the day we've seen from them in the first appearance of the year from Steve Jurgens from Sinclair Community College, the Tartan Pride. Xenia Scouts came into the game at 14-6. A third of those losses came to the same Hamilton Joes team, who have just seemed to have had their number this season, and most teams' number, as they are coming in as the top record of the league with a 13-5 record. They were 6-5, and they have rattled off 7 straight victories. So they've definitely hit their stride here in Hamilton, going for the Ocho tonight with victory number 8, already up 7-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. And here comes the first pitch from Steve Jurgens as a Scout. He winds and delivers, and he gets a strike. So a good start for Steve Jurgens as he blows right by Hunter Owen. Jurgens gets his pitch from Lincoln Reed in his 4th start at catcher on the year. That one's tipped backwards into the black netting. 0-2 now. (0-2) count now, 7-1 lead for the Hamilton Joes. That one swung and hit to left field. Jonathan Bravo gets on his horse, but can't get there in time. Does grab it on the bare hand, and it will save an extra base. If he missed that one, we might have seen Owen at third but catches it on the bare hand. And Bravo has been worked in left field today. Hit after hit. That's been hit in the Texas Wesleyan Rams direction.
It seems like that has been the favorite direction for a lot of these Joes, as it seems like every single ball that's laced to the outfield is laced towards Bravo out and left.
10th hit of the game for the Joes, and that pitch is low and in the dirt. And it gets by Lincoln Reed. So Hunter Owen will advance to second base. I don't think that one hit Lincoln, so a wild pitch.
I think that was a wild pitch, yeah.
So a wild pitch by Steve Jurgens after he gave up his first hit as a scout.
Because Lincoln didn't even have a chance to catch that.
That one was well in the dirt. It bounced 5-hole on Lincoln Reed. Didn't touch any of his catching equipment or body. So now Joe's put a runner in scoring position with Kevin Dupree at the plate, the lefty. 1-0 count to him now after the wild pitch, and that one's well outside. 2-0 to Kevin Dupree, who had an RBI single the last time he was up. An infield single. It was a very questionable play. Could have been ruled an error. So he saw him, picked it up, threw it to the ground, and Wyatt Hogan couldn't corral it. But counts as an RBI single regardless as he chops that one back high into the netting. So 2-1 now to Dupree, the first baseman from Middle Tennessee State, the Blue Raider. And so take his time at the dish. We're seeing the first appearance from Steve Jurgens. Lance and I actually haven't had a conversation with the fellow yet. This is the first time we've seen him. And now he has a 2-1 count for runner on second base. Here's a throw low and away. 3-1. Jurgens in danger of walking his first batter as a scout. With Hunter Owen over there at second base. Owen now 2 for 3 today with 3 RBIs. So yeah, that 3-run jack back in the first inning. 7-1 Joes is your score over the Scouts, and that one's high. So the first batters Jurgens faces will get on after a leadoff single by Hunter Owen in the bottom of the 5th, and then Kevin Dupree walks. So there'll be runners on first and second. We do still see some activity out on the Scouts bullpen. I think Tony Campbell's warming up out there as Coach Bubba Cates comes out to talk to Jurgens. I don't know if we're going to see a switch or not. But I definitely think we should prepare for Tony Campbell in case he comes into the ball game. And after the walk to Kevin Dupree, Luke Emling coming up to the bat. He is, I believe, one of 2 Joes not to have a hit in this game, and the only one not to get on base. Shannon Baker, the other who's on deck, the only other Joe not to get a hit.
The Joe's already with 10 hits on the board, so the Joe's just taking it to whomever the Scouts throw out there to pitch.
After a quick check at my book, that is true. Luke Emling, the only player on the Joes that hasn't gone on base yet. So runners on first and second, no outs here. In the bottom of the 5th inning for Steve Jurgens. He throws in that one. In there for a strike outside corner. Emily disagrees as he pulled back his bunt. Trying to sacrifice with Hunter Owen, who's standing on second, and Kevin Dupree to their next available bases. 0-1 count now. 7-1 Joes. No outs. Runners on first and second. Here comes Jurgens' pitch, and that one's high for a ball as Emily stuck his neck in there and a pull back because it looks like he might be hit on the noggin on that bunt attempt. Counts evened up at 1 apiece. Righty versus righty battle here. 7-1 score. Steve Jurgens on the mound. He throws, and that one hits the batter on his bunt attempt. That one was well inside. Kind of looks like it was in the clavicle region. Lance, I I think it was below the chin and definitely high in the chest.
Yeah, he got hit hard on that one as he squared up to show bunt and definitely hurt up there. We'll hope he is okay as he's looked at by one of Hamilton's trainers as we speak.
So quick look at Luke Emling by the medical staff. Now that pitch went a little too far inside by Steve Jurgens, the righty who's making his first appearance as a Xenia scout in a ball game that got away from the Scouts early. They did score first. Back in the top of the first inning, Lee Solomon was sacrificed home by Kyle Carnahan. But after that has been all red, yellow, black, and gray as the Hamilton Joes have scored 7 straight runs and have just loaded the bases with no outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning to Luke Emling, which is hit by a pitch. So for the first 3 batters, Jurgens was faced. Hunter Owen singled, advanced a second on a wild pitch, then Kevin Dupree was walked, and now Luke Emling, the last Joe in the starting lineup to not get on base, does just that as he's hit by a pitch to load the bases. I'll bring up Shannon Baker, who's hitless in this game. He's 0 for 1 with a walk.
Quick little score update. The Cincinnati Steam and the Lorain County Ironmen now tied at 1. They're in the bottom of the 3rd up at the Pipe Yard in Lorain County.
Lorain County Ironman, as it looks like Luke Emling's not going to be able to continue this game. He's going to be pitch ran for after being hit by that pitch. Let's see who replaces him. Over there on the first base bag.
Looks like Ben Havel.
And replace Ben Havel, who we did see before.
Grant your attention, please, to substitution at first base as a result of the walk from Elmhurst College.
So Ben Havel listed as a pitcher on the website, also hits. Lance and I saw him in the outfield in left field last time. Havel, 6'7" from Elmhurst College, a Blue Jay.
Havel went 1 for 3 in game number 2 against the Scouts last week.
So here in the bottom of the 5th inning, Ben Havel replaces Luke Emling. He got hit by a pitch, so he has to be sat down. And his pitch ran for by Ben Havel. Scouts down 7-1. No outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning with bases loaded for the Joes. And these are some of the outs that you have to get, as, of course, every time you get through the 2 through 5 batters, it's a dangerous situation. As Murderers Row came in today batting .382 and above, and they've done very well so far in this contest. Jackson Boyce is 1 for 2, a couple of runs, a stolen base. He walked and singled. Andy Young is 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs with 2 singles. Jake Zimmerman is 2 for 3 with a couple of singles, and Hunter Owen is 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs. And is sitting over there on third base. So 6 of the 7 runs have been batted home by Andy Young and Hunter Owen. The Sycamore duo from Indiana State has now come into play as Shannon Baker, the left-handed catcher from IUPUI. He rounded out Jordan Schaefer at short last time. Tony Campbell still warming up. Jurgens on the mound trying to get out of this danger. First pitch is a bit high to Lincoln Reed. Ball 1. And Kevin Dupree sitting over that second now was walked. And of course, Luke Emling hit since replaced by Ben Havel. So we have seen some control issues for Jurgens. And that pitch is low for ball as well. Count is now 2-0 to Shannon Baker.
So it just looks like at this point, Jurgens can't find the strike zone. He's 2-0 to Baker. Had 1 strike to Emling before hitting him, and then had Dupree 2-0 before he eventually walked him. So looks like Jurgens just can't find the strike zone.
10-4 score. 10-4 in hits differential. 7-1 score. Here comes the pitch. Outside. So 3 straight balls to start off here to Shannon Baker. Jurgens trying to avoid walking home a run and extending this Hamilton Joe's lead over the Xenia Scouts. They're already up 7-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning with no outs and bases chalked. That one in there for a strike. Right down the equator. 3-1 now to Shannon Baker, who's looking for his first hit of the ball game. And here comes the 3-1. And that one swung on and foul behind us. So Jurgens works his way back from 3-0. And now has a full count. I believe this will be the first full count of the day we've seen.
I think you're right.
We're here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 7-1. Scouts score on the top of the 1st. And there's been all Joes ever since. This battle between the top 2 teams in the league. It's been all Hamilton. Here comes the payoff. Outside corner for a strike. As Baker goes down looking. So the second strikeout of the day for the Scouts. And the first one of the Scout career for Steve Jurgens.
That was much needed, as you mentioned. The base is loaded. You got to find ways to manufacture outs without allowing any runs to score. He did just that.
And here comes Chad Jacob, the shortstop. Hit a double last time. He came around to score. First pitch to him is well in the dirt.
That one bounced in front of the plate.
Bounced about 4 feet in front of the plate. So that one counts for a ball. 1-0 count now.
Clap your hands.
Chad Jacob came into the game batting .333. The shortstop. The number 9 batter in this Joe's lineup.
Can you go down?
Unless the Scouts get any inning double play, Daniel Neff will start off the top of the order for the 4th time this game here in the bottom on the 5th. He's on deck right now. 1-0 count with 1 out, and that one's going to be lined into left center field, and it's going to drop in. Jonathan Bravo will get on the source, drops the ball, drops it twice. Now we'll throw it in, so it'll be another double. So back-to-back doubles from Chad Jacob, and this one brings home 2 runs. And the Scouts are reeling in this contest, down 9-1 now to the Hamilton Joes.
The Joes, it's the center
And there's just not much the Scouts can do. The Joes just hitting the ball anywhere they want to, and they're getting it into the outfield with consistency. That's going to be the end for Steve Jurgens as Coach Cates takes his trot out to the mound. I would think we see Tony Campbell come in.
So Steve Jurgens pitches a 3rd of an inning, gives up 2 earned runs and 2 hits. And if either Chad Jacob or Ben Howell score, those will be accredited to his earned run total. Did get one strikeout, had a walk, and a wild pitch. It's an inauspicious start to the Scout career for Steve Jurgens as Tony Campbell comes into the game. And Campbell in his last appearance was against these Hamilton Joes in that 9-3 loss they had on the 24th. He pitched 1 in the 3rd innings, gave up 3 earned runs and 3 hits, had a walk. Campbell comes into this game with a 10.8 ERA through 2 games. And has 2 strikeouts. I'm realizing the game against the Northern Ohio Baseball Club has not been put on here, so we'll have to get that fixed because in that game he came on and gave him a couple of strikeouts. 9-1's your score. Scouts trailing here at Foundation Field as Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash, sitting on top of the press box and getting a little gust here of wind. Temperature dropping a little bit on a Tuesday afternoon. Scouts will be down here weather permitting again tomorrow night, 7:05, in a rematch between these teams.
Have your attention, please. Now pitching for the Xenia.
Hoping to put a better performance tomorrow as they have struggled a little bit tonight.
Tony Campbell.
You gotta keep your head up. These games happen sometime, and gotta keep on plugging along as Daniel Neff is coming up to the plate for his fourth time. Last time he was up, he had a bunt single, and he came around to score. It was single home by Andy Young.
And Tony Campbell in that outing, like you mentioned, that isn't online against Northern Ohio Baseball Club. He came in the 9th inning with a few guys already on base and was able to get a couple strikeouts. Did allow 1-2 RBI double, but that was not earned against him as those runners were already on, courtesy of Joe Chasen, and Campbell came out with a save.
And now first pitch is going to be chopped. Diving stop by Jordan Schaefer. Throws to second and then home. Jordan Schaefer thought there was a double play opportunity. No one on first. Throws to second. And then Ben Havel couldn't get to home in time. So that will go as a 6-4-2 fielder's choice. In a play you do not see hardly ever.
I think that'd be a nice way of putting it because that was just a weird sequence of events. Like you said, thought there was a double play ball opportunity, and it also helped that Schaefer was just on the ground, so he just flipped it up for the out. And play I've never really seen before without a guy coming towards second base to try and make something happen.
Schaefer just a little unaware of the situations there. Thought there was a runner on first. There was not. Through to what he thought would be a force at second. Of course, nobody coming. And then Lee Sullivan threw home. As there's going to be another steal attempt. Lincoln throws to second base, but in time is Neff for his second steal of the day. And is now tied with Jackson Boyce with 7 on the year. As there have been 3 steals in this contest for the Joes. With Jackson Boyce at the plate. 1-1 count to the second baseman. There's a pitch from Campbell, and that was well outside. 2-1 now to Jackson, who is 1 for 2 in this game with a walk, and he scored twice. Tony Campbell from Nyack College in Nyack, New York. Came to this team late, and that one is inside check swing. Now they're going to say he went. And that's going to even it up at 2-2 to Jackson Boyce. Tony is known for using a variety of pitches and different arm angles. And that one is a bit high. And they'll have his first full count here at 3-2. Campbell, the 4th pitcher. The scouts were thrown out. And here in the bottom of the 5th inning with 2 outs. And that one inside corner for a strike. Jackson Boyce is caught looking. The Joes leave a couple on, but for the 3rd consecutive inning, have 2 runs come across the plate and have extended their lead to 9-1.
Jones Baseball.
So the Scouts need a lot of help in this one. Down 9-1, going to the top of the 6th inning. It's 8:34. This game started at 7:08, so we're about an hour and 30 minutes into this one. Schraffenberger got to get his 6th inning of work, as I mentioned before, in his last outing. He went 7. Got to think that they're trying to put Schraffenberger for around the same total here. His pitch count has not been the highest. He's got a lot of first pitch swings on the Scouts. Scouts only with 4 hits in this contest through the first 5 innings. See if they can get the bats going finally here. And this was the side coming up for the Scouts.
For the Scouts, it'll go 3-4-5. They'll be led off by Kyle Carnahan. He's 0 for 1 today with a sac fly. Then they bring David Gaunt up to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a walk back in the 4th inning.
Top six.
And then Jonathan Bravo was 1 for 2 with a bunt single. That was back in the 4th.
So here comes Kyle Carnahan, trying to start a rally here for the Scouts. 0 for 1 in the contest. First pitch outside for a ball. As we start the 6th inning play, Schraffenberger delivers. That one is hit to right field. And it'll be put away in foul territory by Hunter Owen. And on the second pitch, Kyle Carnahan goes down swinging as he fouls that one out. And it's caught by Hunter Owen. And that brings David Gaunt to the plate. Got off a walk the last time he was up. 4 straight pitches from Schraffenberger. First pitch outside for a ball. 1-0 now to Gaunt, who's seen 5 consecutive balls. Second pitch in outside corner for a strike. 1-1 now to David. Came into today with the league in RBI, so 24. Next pitch to him is hit high up towards second base. And Jackson Boyce will put it away. A little windier up there in a higher altitude. Floats a little bit, but Boyce is able to put it away. So back-to-back flyouts to start the top of the 6th inning. And the Scouts bats still in a deep slumber as Jonathan Bravo comes up to the plate. Bravo single last time. That one's ripped to left field and foul. So just nothing going the way of the Xenia Scouts. It's one of the best hits we've seen all day. And that one just misses, hitting the white chalk. On 1 count now to Jonathan Bravo. He hits that one towards Boyce, and it's going to drop over his head. So back-to-back singles from Jonathan Bravo, who's been one bright spot for the Xenia Scouts in this game. He's now 2 for 3.
The catcher number
That's going to bring up Lincoln Reed. He hit into that double play last time. First pitch, and that one misses away for a ball. Count is now 1-0. He lined it right back to a Schraffenberger, caught it on the fly, and doubled up Bravo at second base for a 1-4 double play. Second pitch also misses, so 2-0 for Reed. He's trying to get on base for the first time in this ball game. To a pitch, and that was swung, chopped over there towards Thurston Chad Jacob, and he puts away Reed, who's now 0 for 3, and the Scouts go away in the top of the 6th inning.
Middle of the 6th inning is brought to you by Jeff Pullman Tire and Auto Service.
So that makes the 4th straight inning. The Scouts have left somebody on base. The other couple times they left a guy over at 3rd, and Schaefer was stranded at 2nd back in the 5th inning. So the Scouts have found ways to get some guys on, but haven't been able to do too much. Is now Joe Chasen going to come out for the Scouts. It'll be the 5th pitcher already for the Scouts. So they're going to have to find a way to chew up some innings, even though this game has gotten away from them.
Joe Chasen probably won't go that many. I think the most we've seen from him was 3 2/3, but the team's closer probably want to keep him fresh as the Scouts play from today on Tuesday all the way through Sunday. 6 consecutive games. You got to keep his arm ready. That's probably why we're seeing so many pitchers want to keep them rested, but Joe Chasen, a closer, definitely can't afford to have him pitch too many innings or he won't be able to close. We're going to the bottom of the 6th. Is 9-1. The Hamilton Joes lead your Xenia Scouts here at Foundation Field on Faith Night in Hamilton, Ohio. And it's been all Joes in this contest.
Nick Street is out there warming up as well, so gotta think they give Chasen an inning or two and then let Street get in another inning of relief. And last time, of course, we saw Nick Street face off with the Hamilton Joes. He got to close out the 9th inning, and he looked much better, although he did give up a home run to Andy Young. But who hasn't given up a home run to Andy Young? Because Andy Young does have 6 home runs on the year. And who's coming up to the plate? Andy Young.
So Andy Young, who's again had a stellar game, which sounds like a broken record at this point. 3 RBIs and a 2 for 3 performance and 2 singles. We'll see how Joe Chasen fares against the prolific righty from Indiana State.
I think he hit the home run off Joe Chasen on that Tuesday.
He did. That go-ahead 3-run homer. That one's hit to deep left field, but foul. That one might hit one of the houses in the distance. That one was hit a country mile foul.
Don't throw that pitch again. I'll keep it simple. Don't do that again. It will go over the fence.
That one did go over the fence, but foul. Chasen got away with that one. Andy Young just cranked that one. Second pitch, outside corner for a strike. So, despite seeing first pitch hit the heavens, maybe it's an 0-2 count, and Joe Chasen's up here on Young.
It was a 1-2 count when he hit the home run.
That one's well outside to make it a 1-2 count.
Don't make me look like a fortune teller, please. Please don't.
So Joe Chasen, the righty, against Andy Young, the righty, the third baseman for the Hamilton Joes, league leader in home runs. And that was swung and missed. So Joe Chasen comes in the game and gets a strikeout. The third strikeout of the day for the Scouts.
Number 23, Jake.
I'm glad I didn't let the future come true on that one. Good pitch from Joe.
It was a great pitch from Joe. Recap the day for Tony Campbell. He went 2/3 of an inning. Had a strikeout, did give up a hit. And here comes Jake Zimmerman. That one outside corner for a strike. Jason in the thick of murderer's road right now, with the side being Young, Zimmerman, and Hunter Owen. It's coming right at him, and she struck out Andy Young to start off the bottom of the 6th. Scouts down 9-1. Second pitch low and away for a ball. Count is 1-1. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed. A nice slider that time by Joe Chasen. And he's one strike away from striking out the first 2 batters of the 6-inning side for the Hamilton Joes, as Zimmerman will take a late time. Joe Chasen already in his windup. Chasen pitches from the stretch despite having no one on. Here comes the delivery. That one's going to be fouled out of play to the first base side. Bounces into the field directly to our right.
Here booth, where you'll receive a special prize free ball return.
So it's a 1-2 count now here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 9-1. Joes is your score. Scouts trying to get back in this one. Give up no more runs here in the bottom of the 6th with 1 out. That pitch misses outside from Chasen. Count is now at 2-2 to Jake Zimmerman, who's 2 for 3. Last time he flew out to Jonathan Bravo in left field. Came in the game batting .478. That one's well outside, and it's now a full count. First of the day for Chasen. Chasen, the 5th pitcher of the day for the Baby Blue and Grays. Here comes the 3-2. Swung on and missed. So back-to-back strikeouts for Joe Chasen against 2 of the best hitters in the entire league. So a great start for Joe.
You got to wonder how long they would put Chasen in there. You would think, tell him just to go 1 inning, throw it all out there, and see what you can make happen against, like you said, some of the best hitters in this entire league.
No activity in the bullpen right now for the Scouts, though. Looks like we're going Chasen at least for this inning.
We have a pinch hitter up. I think it's Daniel Moorhead.
That'll do it for Hunter Owen in right field. Owen finishes his day 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs and a homer.
Daniel Moorhead comes from Taylor University, same university as Lincoln Reed, who's behind the plate, maybe having a nice little conversation right there.
Most likely. First pitch goes for a strike. Pitch number 2 in the dirt. 1-1 now to Daniel Moorhead, another Warrior from Taylor. Jason Reese steps on the rubber, sits right in the middle of it, throwing from the stretch for a 1-1 count here. Would love to strike out the side. That one's going to be fouled backwards, so now 1-2 Daniel Moorhead. So you've seen 2 substitutions in the Joe's outfield as Ben Howell came for Luke Emling after he was hit by a pitch. Now Hunter Owen replaced in right field. Here's the 1-2, and that one is low and away. Evened up with a 2-2 count here. Two with 2 outs. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and miss, and Chasen does strike out the side. So Joe Chasen comes in and doing work on this Hamilton Joe's batters. Of a strikeout, all swinging, but not hitting Joe Chasen, who has only pitched 1 inning, but has by far been the most successful pitcher of the day for the Scouts, who now have 5 strikeouts, 3 of which came there in the bottom of the 6th inning, all to Joe Chasen. Chasen came into the day with a 3.270 ERA, 9 strikeouts. Already has a third of that total tonight, and now we'll be up to 12 on the year. As Al Schraffenberger is about to start inning number 7. He went 7 innings in his last victory. Only has 63 pitches, so we'll see how long he can keep going. And that's the first inning since the second that the Joes haven't put 2 runs across the board, scoring 2 runs in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th before Joe Chasen blanked them in the 6th. So we're going to the top of the 7th. 9-1, the Hamilton Joes lead the Xenia Scouts as Miles Wright walks up to the plate. And Lance, what's the side coming out for the Scouts as they are down by 8?
Like you said, Miles Wright will be leading off the inning for the Scouts. And after him will be Wyatt Hogan.
Now at third
and then after him will be Jordan Schaefer. And Jordan Schaefer got his first hit of the season with the Scouts, and it was a double that hit off of the outfield wall. And another substitution for the Joes, they put R.J. Thompson out in center field to replace Daniel Neff. And like we said, with the pinch hitter, Daniel Moorhead comes in for Owen, and he will go out to right field.
So the entire outfield has been substituted for the Hamilton Joes. R.J. Thompson, Daniel Moorhead, and Ben Havel have all come into the game.
You got to wonder how long it'll be until the Scouts make some changes, whether they bring people in as defensive replacements or as pinch hitters, because we know that there's some guys on that bench who could get some playing time.
Austin Orr, Zach Wiley, Cale Giddings, to name a few. First pitch to Miles right in there for a strike. Miles today is 0 for 2 to Schraffenberger, who is still only giving up 5 hits in this contest. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that one swung and tipped backwards into the net. So 0-2 now to Miles Wright. Schraffenberger's been going right down the middle of most of these pitches. He's been changing up speeds, but has kept the Scouts guessing. It's an 0-2 to number 2, Miles Wright. This center fielder tonight from St. Edwards. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and that one's outside for a ball. Good eye by Miles. Thank you for listening to us live or on the YouTube video the next day. So, welcome to July, and that one's going to be roped towards left field and put away by Havel, a 6'7" left fielder.
Which is almost unfair.
The first baseman.
And Miles Wright will go down for the third time today. That's going to bring up White Hogan. So one down here in the top of the 7th inning. First pitch from Schraffenberger. In there for a strike. Now Hogan goes down 0-1. White is 0 for 2 today. Last time he flew out to Kevin Dupree at first base. Next pitch in there for a strike as well. Hogan looking again. Now down 0-2. And like I said, Schraffenberger is pulling no punches. Going right down the center. 0-2. That one's going to be popped up towards right field. And it'll be put away. So coming into the game for Hunter Owen was Daniel Moorhead, and sees his first ball in the outfield and puts it away on the fly. So 2 up, 2 down for the Scouts here in the top of the 7th, who are still struggling here at Foundation Field. So here comes Jordan Schaefer, 1 for 2 in the contest. Pitch. That one's a bit high to Jordan. 1-0 count. As Lance mentioned, Jordan last time doubled in his first hit of the year, and that's a strike inside corner. This marks the ball on the scoreboard, but the single strike. So 1-1 count. Swung on and missed. So 1-2 count now to Schaefer. With 2 outs here in the top of the 7th, Jordan in his second game as a Scout. Swan chops that one towards third. Now it's going to be picked up by Young and thrown to first, and down goes the speedy Schaefer. And 1, 2, 3, the Scouts go down here in the top of the 7th. And just not a lot going on for the Xenia Scouts.
And those who serve our country.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. The bats just haven't done too much for the Scouts. Bravo, the only guy with multiple hits. He's got himself 2 on the day. Solomon with 1, Binger with 1, and Schaefer, as we mentioned, the only extra base hit as he had a double. That was way back in the 5th inning. So Scouts just haven't been able to do much with the bats. So we're going to now stop for God Bless America.
We'll have God Bless America here in the 7th inning stretch, and when we come back, we hear Lash and Lance Morris of more of the Xenia Scouts versus Hamilton Joes.
And
welcome back.
Nick Straight will come out in relief for the Scouts. No one else out in the bullpen, so I think it looks like we could get 2 innings of workout from Nick Street, and hasn't gone more than an inning this season, so it'd be nice to see him get a couple more innings under his belt.
So maybe an extended appearance from Nick Street. As Lance mentioned earlier, last time we saw Nick was in that 9-3 loss to the Hamilton Joes back at Grady's Field. Comes in the game after Joe Chasen got 3 strikeouts in the 6th inning.
Luckily, the good thing for Nick is he's going to face all the guys that aren't a part of Murders Row, so a little bit easier outing than he was thrown into last time we had to deal with Murders Row right when he came into the ballgame.
So Kevin Dupree, Ben Havel, and Shannon Baker decide for the Joes. Dupree 1 for 2 in this contest with an RBI. He walked last time and scored. Havel last time came in as a pinch runner after Luke Emling was hit, so he'll have his first at-bat of the day. And Shannon Baker struck out looking.
Fans, your attention, please. Now pitching for the Xenia Scouts out of Grand Valley.
So now comes Nick Street. Grand Valley State, a transfer from Owens Community College, a Michigan native. As was Will Cruz, who started this game. Went 3 innings before he was replaced, and we've had a plethora of Scouts pitchers. We're up to number 6.
In all fairness, when Miles asked Will if he was ready today, he did say no.
Here comes the first pitch from Street. In there for a strike right down the middle. And in his first batter faced last time against the Joes, Street did get a strikeout. So we'll see what he does here against Dupree. And that one's outside for a ball. Nick Street recovering from labrum surgery. Still not 100%. They've been working him into the mix. That one's going to be fouled out of play towards the cars in our vans. And bounces off one, maybe a couple of cars there, so it might have a dent. So 1-2 count now. Here's the pitch, and that one checked just in time by Dupree to even it up at 2-2. See if we see Alex Schraffenberger next inning. That pitch is sky high. Kyle Carhan's working towards the fence, and he's going to make the play. Nice play at the fence. So a sweet grab at the chain links. Kyle Carnahan gets the first out of the inning in foul territory. It'll be the third Terrence Carnahan has made in foul territory for an out today. Nothing more impressive than that one to sit Dupree, as Ben Havel is now up to the plate. 6'7" righty. Takes the first pitch for a ball inside. 1-0 from Street. Street, 6'6". So a whole lot of height in this matchup. Here's the pitch. And that one is going to be swung and hit between shortstop and left field. And Jordan Schaefer will call off Bravo and put it away. So 2 up, 2 down now to Nick Street.
Like we've seen, he looks better every single time he comes out. We saw that first outing back in that exhibition play against the Cincinnati Spikes. He didn't look very good. It was his first live action in more than a year, but every single time he seems to get just a little bit better.
We saw him against the Lima Locos, and that one struggled as well. As his first pitch to Shannon Baker goes for a ball. Baker 0 for 2 in this contest with a walk. Here comes the delivery from Street. Just misses inside, so now 2-0 to Baker. Here comes that 2-0, and that one's high and inside, almost nicked him. And just avoided hitting that left shoulder blade, so 3-0 now to Nick Baker. Here's the pitch in there for a strike right down the middle. Last time Baker was up, he was struck out by Steve Jurgens looking. And that one's going to be chopped over towards third, and Kyle Carney picks it up, throws the first in time. Nice stretch by Wyatt Hogan to put it away. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Nick Street.
Right,
So a great start for Nick.
Getting ready to go
As we head to the top of the eighth, Scouts down 9-1.
And that's easily the best we've seen Nick look all season long. Last time out, he threw a little better, but he didn't have the zip that he has today. He's not throwing incredibly hard yet by any means. He's still getting his arm strength back, but he's definitely looking much better up there, much more comfortable than he has in the few other outings we've seen him in. So definitely an encouraging sign, if nothing else, for your Scouts. And it looks like we're going to have another pitcher for the Hamilton Joes.
So Alex Schraffenberger goes 7 innings strong. That ties his highest mark of the year. He gives up 5 hits and 1 earned run. That was all the way back in the top of the first inning. Remember, the Scouts had single sacrifice to start the game and haven't done a whole lot since, as they've only mustered 3 hits after that point and no more runs. And that has us at our 9-1 score. Schraffenberger did have 1 walk.
And Alex Kane now on the hill
Eastern Illinois University.
the Hamilton Joes. He comes from Eastern Illinois. His originally from Oregon, Illinois. He just finished up his junior year.
So Alex Kane, so from one Alex to another, well, most likely be trying to finish this game here for the Joes. They're going to expect him to go in the 8th and most likely 9th innings, but it does look like we still have some action out in the Joes' pen. So we're going to the top of the 8th. Scouts down 9-1, and Lance what's the side coming out for the Scouts?
For the Scouts, it'll be right at the top of their lineup. It'll be Lee Solomon, Christian Binger, and Kyle Carnahan to start things off here in this 8th inning of action.
Lee Solomon 1 for 2 in this contest. He had a sack bunt. Last time he was up, he has been the lone run for the Scouts in this game. And he was a leadoff batter to start things off with a single. He flew out to second in the 3rd inning, and back in the 5th, he had that sack bunt that put Jordan Schaefer at 3rd. And then Christian Binger grounded to first base and stranded Schaefer. Scouts have stranded a runner on 3rd twice to this game. David Gaunt also stranded on 3rd back in the 4th inning. Scouts up to the top of their lineup for the 4th time this game. It'll be the first time they've faced Alex Kane tonight.
And at least one defensive substitution I see for the Joes, Mitchell Vancouvering at 3rd instead of Andy Young.
So we've seen 4 substitutions in the field for the Hamilton Joes. First pitch from Kane to Solomon outside for a ball. Here in the top of the 8th inning, Scouts down 9-1. Here comes the 1-0. That one misses low as well. Count is now 2-0. That one outside as well. So a rough start here for Alex Kane. He's thrown 3 balls to enter this contest. Alex's last start for the Joes was against the Galleon Graders. The pitch ending in a 3rd in that 12-6 victory, and that catches the outside corner for a strike.
No, it didn't. It was framed.
That looked like it was outside. Called by a strike by the home plate umpire. So it's 3-1 now to Solomon. Next pitch. That one is outside, and Solomon's going to be strolling to first. So now he's 1 for 2 today with a sac bunt and a walk. This will be the 3rd time a Scout has walked this game. As both Christian Binger and David Gaunt has walked as well. Now to the plate is Christian Binger. He takes first one for a strike. Last time Lee Solomon was at first with Christian Binger at the plate, he singled in the 1st inning. 2nd pitch outside for a ball. Scouts down 9-1, looking for anything here. Try to mount any sort of comeback, get a spark, make it a little closer here in the top of the 8th, and that one's a bit high to Binger, 2-1 now. Kane came, excuse me, Lance, go ahead.
And that's the composure we see from Binger every time. Scouts are down 9-1, yet he's still waiting for his pitch up there.
Alex Kane hasn't seen much action this year, only has 4 innings pitched. And there for a strike, and that's what can happen when you have a 17-pitcher pitching staff like the Hamilton Joes do. He has 4 strikeouts on the year, 4 walks, and 3 hits given up, and 2.25 ERA in limited action. Even count now to Christian Binger, and Lee Solomon's on the move. That one's low in the dirt, and Lee Solomon's going in there easily. That was a good catch by Chad Jacob, not letting that ball go to center field.
And that's Lee Solomon's second steal on the day.
And extends his team lead. Now Christian Binger at the plate. Payoff pitch. Tips it backwards and stays alive. 3-2 again. We'll do it up for Christian Binger. The 2 stolen bases on the day for Lee Solomon. 1 for 2. A sac bunt and a walk. So overall, a pretty solid day for Lee. 3-2 to Binger. That one swung and fouled backwards. Another pitch to Christian. And this will be number 8 in the at-bat for Christian Binger.
If that's your car, visit our sponsor, M&G Body Shop, where they're highly recommended.
Lee Selman sitting off the bag at second, gets his lead. Here's the throw from Kane. That one's in the dirt, so back-to-back walks to start off the top of the 8th for Alex Kane.
That'll be the 18th on the season for Christian Binger.
That leads the league. Next we have a meeting of the mound of head coach Dale Grissom. Going to try to calm down his reliever. It's only the 5th inning that Kane would have seen this year if he closes out the 8th. And a little bit of trouble with runners on first and second. Lee Solomon, Christian Binger. Now Kyle Carnahan coming up to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today with a sacrifice RBI back in the first inning. He's hit home. The only run the Scouts will score as it's 9-1 here in the top of the 8th with no outs. Runners on first and second. First throw to Carnahan, outside for a ball. Kane still trying to find his rhythm. Looks at second, Lee Solomon fires to the plate. That one right down the center for a strike. Evens it up at 1-1. A multitude of substitutions in this lineup and defensive rotation here for the Joes. Here comes the 1-1. That one's in the dirt. And that pass ball is going to have Lee Solomon moving. And Christian Binger as well. So now they'll be on second and third. Pass ball, Lance?
Yeah, that one was a pass ball.
I thought so as well. A bounce off Baker. So now 2 runners in scoring position
Get them quickly.
for the Scouts. This is the first time they've been in this position all day long. 2-1 pitch. That one swung and fouled backwards to even it back up to Kyle Carnahan.
And like we mentioned, there's been a bunch of substitutions. Ryan Dugan now behind the plate.
So there's substitutions in infield as that pitch is fouled into net as well behind the plate. And all 3 of the outfielders have been substituted. So pretty much a whole new Hamilton Joes team we see now. Two-two count. Runners on second, third. Kane's throw. That hits Carnahan again. So he's going to extend his lead in that category to number 9 on the season. That loads the bases for David Gunn. League leader in RBIs coming into today's contest.
The designated hitter, number 17, David, gone.
So bases loaded, no outs here in the top of the 8th. Alex Kane has been struggling. He's walked the first 2 batters and now hit Kyle Carnahan on the 3-2 count. David gone at the plate. First pitch to him and in there for a strike. 0-1 to David. In the second game of the doubleheader on Sunday, David hit a 3-run jack to make it 6-2, which was the final score of the contest in the 8th inning. Here comes the pitch. Swung on, that one's hit towards center field. See if Solomon's tagging up. No, it's only the second base. So he will not nearly far enough, as Gone is now 0 for 3 in today's contest. She flew out
The left fielder,
to
number
Boyce
7,
at
Jonathan
second.
Bravo.
As Jonathan Bravo is at the plate. He's 2 for 3 today. Can drive home a couple of runs here with 1 out in the top of the 8th. 9-1 score. First pitch from Kane. Swung on, big swing by Jonathan Bravo, but misses that one. Count is now 0-1 to the left fielder. Got singles in his last 2 appearances. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, and that one's ripped, and that's going to bring home Lee Solomon. Will they say Binger? They will not. But an RBI single for Jonathan Bravo cuts the lead to 9-2. So Jonathan Bravo, no 3 for 4 today. It's definitely been the bright spot in this Xenia Scouts team. And the first run since the top of the first inning. As yet again, Lee Solomon comes around to score. He's representing both runs.
20,
And here comes Lincoln Reed. Grounded out to short last time at Chad Jacobs. See if he can end his 0 for 3 streak here against Alex Kane. That pitch is fouled and tipped backwards. A little late on that one. 0-1 now to the catcher from Taylor University in Indiana. Bases loaded, 1 out. 9-2 score. That one's well outside. So a 1-1 count now to Lincoln Reed. Alex Kane has given up his first earned run of the contest. Second to go as a swing and a miss, and that one's going to go to the backstop, and that's going to score Christian Binger. So pass ball, a second one of the inning on Dugan. And is going to cut the lead to 9-3, the same score as the Scouts and Joes had in their last outing. Now it moves Bravo to second and Carnahan to third. 1-2 now to Lincoln Reed with 2 runners in scoring position. 9-3 game. Scouts trying to mount a comeback here in the top of the 8th. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and that was well outside. That one almost missed too. We do see some activity in the Joes bullpen. See if Alex Kane can last the inning. Kane gets his pitch. He throws inside. Swung on and missed. That one was high. Lincoln couldn't hold off of it. He goes down for the 4th time today. So 2 runners in scoring position with Miles right at the plate. This is a big opportunity for the Scouts to try to cut into this lead. Still down by 6 if they can plate. And 2 runners in scoring position. They're right back in and going to the top of the 9th. They can hold them off in the bottom of the 8th. We've already seen a lot of substitutions from the Joes, losing some of their best players. See if the Scouts can make them pay. Here's the first pitch to Miles right inside for a strike. Christian Binger and Lee Solomon have scored in this inning. Solomon was singled home by Jonathan Bravo. Christian Binger got home on a pass ball. On 1 to Miles right. That one is going to be popped up to Kevin Dupree at first, and the Scouts will leave 2 on. That's got to hurt. That's the 3rd time this game they've left a runner on third.
We got a special birthday in the house tonight.
And the thing, if they can bring some of those runners in scoring position home, this game would be closer than a 9-3 score. It should go to the bottom of the 8th.
So please join us as we sing Happy Birthday to Paul.
You have to imagine that's going to be the only inning we see from Alex Kane.
Looks like Jordan's going to pitch.
And he is multifaceted. Jordan Schaefer is going to make the move to the pitcher's mound. From shortstop, Christian Binger moves from left field to second.
Wide out and right, and Kale's going to go to first.
Yep, Cale Giddings comes into the game. So Nick Street pitches 1 inning. Looked very good. Went 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to see Jordan Schaefer on the mound for the first time this year. So first time we've seen both Steve Jurgens and Tony Schaefer tonight. And this will be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th pitcher of the day for the Scouts.
You said Tony Schaefer.
Jordan Schaefer, excuse me.
It's okay. Yeah, we were talking with Coach Cates. This was after one of the games last week against the Joes, and he told us about Jordan was going to be coming to us, said we needed someone who could play short. We also needed another pitcher. Jordan can do both.
So we haven't seen Jordan on the mound at all. We've only seen him in the field. So we'll see what he can do as we're going to bottom the 8th. And there's been so many substitutions for this Hamilton Joes lineup. To see how many we can recognize as they come up to the plate. So Lance, what's the projected side coming off for the Joes?
For the Joes, it looks like it's going to be led off by Chad Jacob. He has gotten hits in his last 2 at-bats, each of them doubles. Then it should be R.J. Thompson. He came in relief of Daniel Neff, and then Jackson Boyce has stayed out there at second, so I think he should be the third guy we see come up for the Joes.
So here comes Chad Jacob, 2 for 3 with a couple doubles and a couple RBIs. First pitch from Jordan Schaefer as the scout misses outside for a ball. 1-0 now to Chad Jacobs. Second pitch, and that one's going to be flown. See if Kyle Carnahan can make a play on that one, and he will. Another play in foul territory by Kyle Carnahan, who does not fear that chain link fence. This one not as close as the previous play he made back in the bottom of the 7th inning. That'll be the first out here in the bottom of the 8th for the Joes as R.J. Thompson comes up to the plate.
And he was 0 for in both of the games against the Scouts last week. He went 0 for 5 in game 1, 0 for 4 in game 2.
So here comes the first pitch from Schaefer. That one outside corner for a strike to Thompson. So quickly up 0-1 now. Here's the wind in the delivery, and that one's in the dirt for a ball. 1-1 count now. Here at Foundation Field. Joes lead the Scouts 9-3 here in the bottom of the 8th with 1 out. That one's going to be lined to right center field. Wyatt Hogan puts it away, and I believe this is the first time we've ever seen Hogan in right field on the season. We usually see him in left field when Jonathan Bravo isn't playing, but Bravo is in left field. Miles right in center. White in right field with Cale Giddings coming into the game. Lee Solomon's been moved to shortstop. Christian Binger playing second. It's a wholesale substitutions for the Scouts.
So I would think that means that Cale has to be slotted in for David since Jordan came in as a position player to pitch.
So first strike now to Jackson Boyce, who struck out last time. That was to Tony Campbell. That one's we dribbled over there to Cale Giddings. Throws to Schaefer, and he steps on the bag in time. So a 3-1 putout, and Jordan Schaefer comes in, and he goes a 1-2-3. So last 2 innings, Scouts pitching really stepping up, and we're going to the top of the 9th inning. Scouts down by 6, 9-3 is your score. Let's see if the Scouts can pull some magic here at Foundation Field.
More Joe's baseball coming your way if you want to check out the schedule.
I think we have a new pitcher out there.
Visit us online at Hamilton Joes.
I believe we do as well. That'll be Adam Shoemate, senior from Miami University, originally from Fort Mitchell, Kentucky. 6'4", 225 righty. He came in to replace Alex Kane. Alex only went 1 inning after it was a 7-inning showdown by Al Schraffenberger. So now they have Adam Shoemate So 3A names here for the Hamilton Joes pitchers today.
Number 27, Adam Shoemate.
And Lance, what's the side coming out from the Scouts as they're trying to hold on for dear life?
For the Scouts, from what I can tell, it should be the same guys in their spots. So it should be Wyatt Hogan, who started the game at first, has since moved out to right. Then it'll be Jordan Schaefer, who started the game at short and pitched this last inning. And then after him, it should be Lee Solomon. He started off the game at second and since moved over to shortstop.
So, folks, we've had a lot of substitutions on both sides, and we're trying to keep up with all of them. As Wyatt Hogan's coming up to the plate, that we do know. And we also know that he's 0 for 3 in this contest. When Coach Bubba Case is moving from
Wyatt Hogan.
the dugout out to third base, and Schaefer will be there in the on-deck circle. So here's the first throw from Adam Shoemate, and that's going to plunk Wyatt Hogan. So that will be the second hit batter of the day. That's why Hogan's going to stroll to first base to start off this inning.
For the Scouts.
It looks like Zach Wiley is going to come in and pitch hit for Lee Solomon on deck. So Jordan will still hit like he would normally.
So Jordan Schaefer at short. Zach Wiley on deck has not played this game. Here comes the first pitch to Schaefer outside for a ball. He's 1 for 3 today. Did double back in the 5th inning. Wyatt Hogan sitting over there on first base for Adam Shoemate. Scouts down 9-3, 2-0 count now to Schaefer after that last ball. Trying to avoid the third straight loss of the Hamilton Joes. That pitch right down the middle for a strike. 2-1 now from Shoemate to Schaefer. Comes to 2-1 and a swung on and miss from Jordan. His third game with the team's second start. Started the game as shortstop. Just threw that last inning. Went 1-2-3 and now 2-2. He goes down swinging. So Schaefer will finish 1 for 4. And Shoemate gets the first strikeout, the second of the day for the Joes.
Fans, your attention, please. Now batting for the Xenia Scouts, number 24, Zach Wiley.
Now here comes Zach Wiley coming on for pinch hitting. Here comes the pitch, and that one's low in the dirt. Good stop. Ryan Dugan replaced Shannon Baker behind the plate. One on count now to Zach Wiley. That one's a bit high. Count is now 2-0 to Zach. Christian Binger on deck. Game-ending double play ball is set up. Zach Wiley will be trying to avoid hitting in to that inauspicious fate. Zach, a catcher from Union University in Jackson, Tennessee. One of 2 players on the team from Union. There's the pitch, and kind of half-heartedly checked that one. Did not want to go all the way around. Fouls off the edge of his bat towards Zach Gilcrease over there on first base, the first base coach. 2-1 now to Wiley, and that one's well outside. 3-1. Zach on Sunday did have a ground rule double. That's a 3-1 count right now with Wyatt Hogan on first, and that one is inside. So the second scout to get on as Zach Wiley walks. That's going to bring up Christian Binger, who's walked twice today.
For the Scouts, number 4, Christian Binger.
So with Christian at the plate, Kyle Carnahan on deck. Scouts 9-3, 2 on here with 1 out. First pitch curves past the zone for a strike. 0-1 now to Christian Binger. Binger got a full count drawn last time when he faced Alex Kane. Now against Adam Schumann, he's going to ground that one towards first. That would be Dupree to pick it up. And in there in time. So a 1-6-3 double play ends the game. It's Kevin Dupree with a nice pickup, throws it to Chad Jacob at short, who throws it back to Shoemate. And the 3-6-1 double play will end the Scouts' hopes of a comeback. They leave 2 on, and they lose by the same score as the last time these two teams played, 9-3. And the Joes extend their lead in the Great Lakes League standings. They'll move to 14-5 on the season. The Scouts drop the game. Now 14-7. So a full game behind
2 hours and 21
the Hamilton Joes.
Foundation Field, and the winning pitcher that they see tonight.
And it was just a tough outing today for the Scouts. They got it started early with that run back in the first inning, but had some help in the 8th inning due to some passed balls, but otherwise just not a great outing from the Scouts today. They're going to have to come back and face the same Hamilton Joes team tomorrow to try and avoid being completely swept by these Hamilton Joes. It'll be their final game of the regular season with the Joes tomorrow night right here in Hamilton, Ohio.
And Jonathan Bravo will be today's player of the game. And Jonathan Bravo will be brought up here in a little bit. Bravo had a fantastic game, going 3 for 4 with an RBI, singled in his last 3 at-bats in the 4th, 6th, and 8th innings. And Lance, 9-3 score. Scouts looked like they were dead all game long. Did show some signs of life in the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, especially from the pitching staff.
That's absolutely right. The pitching staff near the end of the game looks pretty good after struggling early on. Jurgens in his first outing didn't look very good in just his 1/3 of an inning pitched. Johnny Campbell came in. He did pretty good in his 2/3 innings of work. Joe Chasey came on in the 6th, struck out the side. Nick Street came in. He looked about as great as we've seen him look this entire season. He got the Joes to go down 1-2-3, and then Jordan Schaefer came in, also got the Joes to go down 1-2-3, and he, of course, a two-way player, can pitch a little, can play shortstop. So the start of the game not very encouraging from the Scouts, with Cruz, obviously his worst start of this season. He only went 3 innings. Wanning came in and threw an inning. He did all right. He had some guys on base already when he gave up some runs. But after Jurgens really struggled, he gave up a couple runs as well. Scouts really did limit the bleeding as much as you could with all of the pitchers they did have come in the later innings.
Yeah, 9-3 scores, so it just seems like the Joes have had the Scouts' numbers this season. Second time they've played 9 runs across, and the Scouts with one of the best pitching staffs in the entire league. So it's uncommon for the Scouts to give up this many runs, but when you face a team like the Hamilton Joes, you know you're going to give up runs. And that's just going to happen because they're just such a great team. And we saw early in this contest, they gave up 3 in the first inning, 2 in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th that led to the 9 runs. Looks like we won't be able to get Jonathan Bravo for our player of the game, as the Scouts are about to go down the field, as Joey Levis is about to give his testimony. But the Scouts will pick it up and come back here tomorrow and try to, like you said, Lance, not have the season sweep against the Joes right here at Foundation Field at 7:05. Thank you for listening to Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash. Be sure to follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as we try to give you up to date on your Scouts to stay as in tune with them as possible. And also be checking XeniaScouts.com for game recaps. Also check out our roster page, our schedule page, and all the fun features we have on XeniaScouts.com. One final time here, Foundation Field. The final score is Hamilton Joe's 9, Xenia Scouts 3. Lance Morris and myself, Terry Lash. Good night, everyone, and God bless.